Hello, Hull and Liverpool classes. Today we're going to have a little rethink about a science topic we actually learned quite a lot about in the autumn term. We learned a lot about animals and found out that animals can be grouped in different ways. This slide, or these slides now, help us to think a little bit more about that. So, let's have a little look. One of the groups of animals we thought about was a group called amphibians. And if you watched the Tadpole Diary and the frog videos that have been on our YouTube channel, then you will already have found out quite a lot about frogs. A frog is an amphibian because it lives on land and in water. And we know they lay their eggs in water. The other animal on the screen at the moment is this creature. This is a salamander. It's a bit like a frog because it's an amphibian. It lays its eggs in water. It lives on land and in water. So it breathes the same way that the frog breathes. It's a bit different. Obviously, it's a different colour. This little frog here is quite green, and this salamander is a beautiful black and yellow colour, so the pattern looks very striking. The eyes are similar, quite dark eyes, but the frog eyes are very round, and the salamander's eyes are nice and oval. I think the salamander's got little nostrils just like a frog has. One of the big differences, so the difference between them is a salamander has a long tail. So when it develops and becomes a fully grown salamander, then it keeps its tail. And we know that the frog lost its tail. Its tail began to shrink and became shorter and shorter until there's no tail left. So we have noticed the similarities and differences between these two animals. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. Now we're going to look at reptiles and have a little think about these fantastic animals. We've got a lizard here in the top picture, and we've got a snake in this bottom picture. Let's read the information first about reptiles. Reptiles live in water and on land. Oh, I'm thinking now, I don't know if you are, that that's just the same as amphibians. Reptiles must be different to amphibians. Let's find out how. Now, this sentence says, they have scales and are cold-blooded. So if you look at the skin of a snake or the skin of the lizard, you can see lots and lots of tiny scales, little areas of skin next to each other. Because they are cold-blooded, this means that they cannot keep warm by themselves and need to be in a warm place. They lay their eggs on land. Ooh, so that's another difference, isn't it, between reptiles and amphibians. Amphibians lay their eggs in water. Reptiles lay their eggs on land. I think they're a bit the same because they're green, aren't they? Lizards can be quite long. Snakes are very long, aren't they? Let's look at their eyes. Oh, that's a good difference. The snake's eye has got a pupil that's a long vertical shape. But if you look at the pupil on this eye, the black bit, it's more of a circle shape in a lizard. That's a good difference. I'm wondering about nostrils. I can see nostrils on the lizard. I wonder if a snake has nostrils. See if you can find out. Okay, so reptiles. We know quite a lot now about reptiles. What's the next group of animals? Ah, mammals. Okay, I think I can remember some things about mammals. I can see this beautiful lion, and you can see its mane around, its lovely hair growing around its face. This must be a male lion, a man lion, a male, not a female. A female lion doesn't have this lovely mane. And here's a zebra with that fantastic black and white stripy pattern. Okay, so let's have a think about mammals. Mammals usually have hair or fur. Mammal babies are born alive. That means that when a mammal has babies, that the baby isn't an egg that suddenly develops once it's been born. When it's born, it's already a tiny version of what it will look like when it's an adult. The mothers feed their babies milk. We are mammals, so human beings are mammals. I think they're very different, aren't they? The lion is a herbivore. It eats meat. It catches its prey with its sharp claws, and its teeth inside can rip into an animal to eat the meat inside it. The zebra is a bit like a horse. It eats grass. It's a herbivore. So they're very different creatures because of what they eat. They look very different. They've both got 4 legs, haven't they? And they've both got a tail. The ears are a different shape. The lion's ears are rounded and the zebra's ears are longer. And the nose is quite different. So here's the zebra's nose with big nostrils either side and his mouth here. And here's the lion's nose here. And here's his mouth. I wonder if a zebra has whiskers. I can see those whiskers on the lion. Do you think a zebra has whiskers? Try and find out. Fish. Ah, yes, we can tell these are fish. This is a clownfish, and this one is called a neon tetra. These fish kind of light up, and you can see them if you've ever been into a pet shop, or maybe you've got a little aquarium at home. I like these fish. They look nice and bright. They're very small. This clownfish is lovely and colourful. Let's read about them. Fish live in water. They have fins instead of legs and gills instead of lungs. They lay their eggs in water. So just like an amphibian lays its eggs in water, fish do the same, but fish only live in water. Fish have also got scales on their bodies. Can't quite see them on these pictures, but fish have scales too, like reptiles, but fish only live in water. And they have no legs. Look at the beautiful fins on the fish, on the clownfish, to help them swim, to help them stay balanced in the water, and their tail fins as well. I like watching fish swim. Insects. We went on an insect hunt at school, didn't we? And we went under the trees and we shook some of the branches and we lifted up some of the stones to try and find insects. We found other creatures too, other mini beasts. All mini beasts are a type of animal, but insects are special because insects have 6 legs. Their bodies are made up of 3 parts. Some have wings. They lay eggs. Let's think about what's the same about these creatures. Well, they're both insects. They both have 6 legs. They're both colourful, aren't they? This beautiful ladybird with her black spots on a red body, and this beautiful butterfly with an orange and black outline. Both pretty insects. They both have wings. Sometimes you'll see a ladybird fly away. If she flies away or he flies away, these hard wing cases open out, and beneath them they've got some soft wings that they use to help them to fly with as well. You can't see all of the 6 legs, but underneath its body it will have 6 legs. And they've both got feelers or antennae to help them smell and find their way around, and they've both got eyes that we can't quite see very clearly on these photographs, and they've both got a mouth, a small mouth. The butterfly feeds with a long, a bit like a long tube, a long straw, and it drinks sweet liquid, nectar from flowers. If you saw Mrs. Callahan's videos about the caterpillars that changed into butterflies, you can find out more about that on those videos on our YouTube channel. And the ladybird is actually an interesting creature because it also eats insects. It likes catching and eating little small flies on plants and flowers. I've got some roses in my garden, and some ladybirds are trying to eat the little aphids, the green fly on the roses. And birds. Birds have a beak, wings, feathers, and 2 legs. They lay eggs. So just like the amphibians, they do lay eggs, but the birds' eggs are not laid in water. They're laid out of the water, aren't they? Even a bird that swims a lot on a water has to make its nest out of the water, because a bird cannot breathe underneath the water. Penguins can swim for quite a long time under the water, but eventually they have to come to the surface of where they live and take some air. They're very different, these birds, aren't they? The mandarin duck has got lots of lovely colours. It's multicoloured. Look at those feathers here. And the penguins are black and white, aren't they? These penguins have got a little bit of orange and yellow on them. Penguins live in very cold parts of the world, and mandarin ducks live in many places. Mandarin ducks can fly with their wings. Even though a penguin has wings, penguins cannot fly, but they still have wings. Okay, I hope you enjoyed listening to all about those different animals. If you want to go through this video again and pause the video after each set of animals, see if you can think of any more amphibians, any more reptiles, mammals, fish, insects or birds. Maybe you could draw pictures of those animals and label them, and send your work to Mrs. Tarry in Year 2, Miss Creaser if you're in Hull 2, or to me if you're in Hull 1. We'd love to see it. That's all for now. Until our next lesson. Bye.